Uh, Good evening, everyone. I am Yasra Soda, and today I'm going to discuss a topic facing the void, comparative analysis of absurdism, nihilism, and existentialism. My information, question and ideas addressed in the presentation: what is absurdism? What is existentialism? What is nihilism? What are the differences and similarities among these philosophical perspectives? First of all, absurdism. The definition in the Merriam-Webster, absurdism is the philosophy based on the belief that the universe is irrational and meaningless, and that the surge of order brings the individual into the conflict with the universe. So the basic idea is universe is meaningless, and when we get to know that universe, and when we try to get to the universe, we are in the conflict. The pioneers of the works we find the Albert Camus. In that work, we find the rebellion from the traditional ideas, the myth of Sisyphus. The myth shows that absurdist idea that how Sisyphus is rolling this stone over the mountain continuously, day by day. Freedom and passion we find in the Soren Kierkegaard. We find the subjectivity of the truth, that the truth is not the common, but it changes individually. A leap of faith, we have already discussed that while we are discussing that waiting for Godot. Teleological suspension of the ethical. What were the ethics during the traditional times? Now it is broken down, and in the absurdist idea, we have to do that by ourselves. In nihilism is the viewpoint that the traditional values and beliefs are unfounded, that the existence is senseless and useless. Now, the nihilism is the same idea that universe is meaningless, and the very idea of finding the meaning in the universe, it is also the meaningless. So, meaning it is taken from the Latin, means nothing. It was originated in 19th century Russia, and Nietzsche used Friedrich Nietzsche make it very popularized. In 20th century, it became like rejecting of the moral truth and knowledge and communication. So this information is taken from Britannica. Existentialism is the chiefly 20th century philosophical movement embracing the diverse doctrines, but centering on the analyzing the individual existence and unfathomable universe. In the major focus, we also find the universe is meaningless, life is meaningless, but we have to create our own meaning. So that is the basic philosophy in the 20th century. It is immersed, emphasized on individual existence. We have to create our own existence. Reject the universal truth, focusing on choice, individual choice, freedom, and meaning. Explore the angst, alienation, and authenticity. The major pioneers is also there: Kierkegaard, Dostoevsky, Sartre, and Nietzsche. Article written by George Selfer. The name of the article is Absurdism and Existentialism: The Aesthetics of Nietzsche and Camus. He argues that both culturally and academically, Camus matured the word tingled and Nietzschean use. So he says that in both of the works, like Camus' work and Nietzsche's work, Camus uses some of the philosophy of Nietzsche in his works. Some of the citations also there. Some lines are also taken. So they argue in the both works how they see the aesthetics and art. So this is the like basic understanding is that the absurdism art creates illusory in the Nietzsche's views. A state of health during the meaninglessness and existence, where Camus believed that art aggravates the sense of absurdity by portraying the man's senseless situation. In the nihilist concept, we find that Nietzsche says that art provides a temporary sedation against the nausea of nihilism, where Camus says that there is no absolute truth that art can be uncovered. Existentialism, Nietzsche believes that art generates a state of intoxication that helps the individual to create subjective meaning, where Camus believes that art does not offer refuge or resolution but reflects the fragmentation of the human condition. Now, what are the similarities we find in the three of the concepts, philosophical component: nihilism, existentialism, and absurdism? rejection of objective meaning, like universe is meaningless, life is meaningless. Three of the major concepts that is based on that idea. Focus on individual subjectivity. We have to create our own meaning, whatever we have to believe. Individual have to believe whatever he wants to believe. Critique of traditional metaphysical and religion. They three of the concept do not believe in the traditional religion. Embrace the human freedom and responsibility. Like three of the ideas rely on the individual himself, that one has to choose his freedom and also has to take the responsibility of their actions. Skepticism towards the absolute truth. We have to be skeptic that whatever is being told in the religion and traditional ideas, it is not true. Concern for the human condition. These ideas are discussed. In the three of them, what are the differences we find? The central idea, existentialism believe that personal freedom create meaning through the choices. There is universe is meaning. We have to create our meaning. Absurdism says that there is absurdity, so just accept it and move forward. And nihilism says that there is no meaning, and finding the search of meaning, it is also the futile. Key figures like we find in existentialism, Sartre, Nietzsche, Kierkegaard. In absurdism, we find Camus, Kafka, and Beckett. Nihilism, Nietzsche, and Schopenhauer. Meaning of life, the create meaning, no inherent purpose is there. Absurdism believes that find fulfillment in the absurdity, no ultimate meaning. And in nihilism, life has no inherent meaning, search for it, it is also the futile. The same we find in the different response to absurdity. How they respond to the absurdity: embrace freedom, self existence. We have to create our existence. Absurdism, accept absurdity and define it with dignify. Nihilism, accept the lack of meaning and apathy. Existential anxiety from freedom of choice. In absurdism, anxiety from confronting the absurdity. Nihilism, we find the despair of apathy from the lack of meaning. Ethics, we find personal responsibility, authenticity. We have to create our own ethics, our own morality. Absurdism, solidarity, ethical integrity. It is absurdism, and whatever you do, it doesn't matter. Nihilism, reject traditional morals, and skepticism. Whatever we do, we have to be skeptic that it is moral or not. Perspective on death. Existentialism believe that highlights the significance of choices, ultimate absurdity. You want to commit a suicide, you can. There is nothing like personal choice. Absurdism is confront with dignity, part of existence. Death is the part of existence. Absurdist belief. Nihilism says that renders into ultimately the meaningless end of the consciousness. It is just the end of our consciousness. That is there. And relationship with God. Focus on anatomy. Object relate the traditional religion. They don't believe in religion. Absurdism, we find absent and indifferent, confront the absurdity alone. And the nihilism, we find the reject and transcendent meaning, view as the human influence. We have created the God. God does not exist. In the conclusion, we can find through this discussion, we find can get the different perspective from different philosophers. Critical examination, we can examine the closely that how they believe and how we can understand the philosophy. Empowerment of individual agency, we have individually have to decide whatever we want to do, whatever the ideology we want to believe in. Complexity of human experience, everyone experienced differently and they have given their own philosophies. Pluralism in thought, some of the ideas are common in three of the philosophies. Encouragement of reflection, we have to reflect our own ideas, we have to create our own identity by ourselves. So that is from my side. These are some references. Thank you. Now you can ask questions.
Yash, my question is, in what way do existentialist thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus propose navigating the void of existence, and how do their approaches align or differ from each other?
Albert Camus, we have discussed the myth of Sisyphus, and in the writing of that, he says that we have to, the existence is absurd. So even if it absurd, we have to accept, and still we have to do whatever the things we want to do. Like it doesn't have to do with the existence. Like whatever the choices we do, existence doesn't have to be anything built. And Jean-Paul Sartre, we also find the same concept that existence is just is there, and we have to make our own choices.
So, yes, can you discuss any contemporary applications or relevance to the existential philosophies in today's society?
After these existential philosophies came into existence, we find that during the 20th century, before that, we find that most of the people are believing in the religion. And then the Charles Darwin theory of evolution, and then came, and then these philosophies came into existence. So the idea of that there is no God, or God is there, creating our own morality, our own ethics, that in the 21st century, that also relies on that. We have to take our action, responsibility of our action, and we have to move forward. So in the 21st century, we also get the same idea, and we some of the things people can freely says that I don't believe in God, or they also provide some of the articles and these references of these type of philosophers, and they can create their own morality or ethics. So in the 21st century, in contemporary time, we also find the same differences.